Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to talk a little bit about joins, utilizing the Alteryx icons and the features that Alteryx has in the designer mode. As you know, if you're a product of coding, if you know SQL, you know SAS, Python, then you're pretty familiarized with joins and how that type of syntax and logic works. Well, you know, for in Alteryx, there is an option to kind of code in and do joins that way in the configuration of the tools. But this time we're going to use the actions and the tools that we have to offer in the join ribbon. So really quick, let's go to the screen. You'll see the workflow canvas. And I've already pre-made a workflow here utilizing some data I had, some CSV files. Notice on the join ribbon, it's illuminated in purple. You have the append files, append fields, find, replace, fuzzy match, join multiple, make group, and union. So for today's kind of quick tip, we're going to talk about just the simple joins you can do utilizing the join icon, which I have my mouse hovered over here, and then we'll also do a few quick append and find, replace. So really quick tip. First, let's look at the CSV files that I'm working on or I'm using. So this one's called batting CSV. Of course, it's utilizing baseball data. I have baseball data. And notice how this is all by player ID. So you have player ID as your first column, your ID, team they're associated with, and then all their activity, all their statistics. So, let me see real quick. Just wanted to scroll to show you that. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to join that data set, the batting data set, to the people data set. Because the original data set for batting, as you see in the results window, is only has a player ID. Well, I want to know exactly who that player is. So if I go to the people CSV, you now notice that it has player ID, birth year, all the demographic information needed to join to the people ID. First name, last name, full name, weight, height. Okay. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna do what you're thinking is just join it off player ID. I'm gonna go to the join icon. If I go here to the configuration window, notice that I am doing a join, a left and a right on player ID, and I am gonna bring in everything. I kind of want to see how that works. So let's run that really quick. Okay. So notice I'm gonna zoom in here on the icon for join. There's these entrance nodes. There's the left and the right, basically telling you what table you want to join. So whatever I'm gonna connect in the L node and the R node, I'm gonna connect based off that configuration I have on the join right here. So going back to that, you can see that I'm gonna join both data sets off player ID, and you can actually increase the on criteria. For those of you that know how to code, when you're doing joins, you're basing it on some fields. You can actually, you know, add some additional dimensions to join it on. And then you have your output here. You have your L, your J, your R, right? So then you have some additional nodes. Basically, just to break this down for you, the L is going to give you back results for those that didn't join on your existing criteria. The R is going to bring you back results from the R table that didn't join on that existing criteria. And the J for join will bring you back all the matched results. So real quick, if I go here to L, there's 0 records displayed in the results pane in the bottom. And if you go to R for the right table, there are 207 records displays. So what does this tell me? So basically what this is saying is on the L table, there's 0 records right here on the L node. So that means that every one of those records did match with a player ID in the people CSV file. Now the R has 207 records. So what does that tell me? That's saying that in the people CSV, there are 207 records that has a player ID, but they did not join with anything on the batting CSV, which was connected in the L node. So there's 207 records that didn't join. So they're basically left here in the sandbox saying, hey, we're the ones that didn't join. If you need us, we're still here to be used. Okay, on the join, you have 112,184 records. These are all the ones that joined. So if you scroll to the right, notice how you now have all the additional dimensions that were in the people CSV now joined after the L dimensions. So we have name there, death city for those that have passed, name first, name last, weight, height, bats left, throws left, debut, final game, and then some additional references to the people CSV. Okay, so real quick, that doesn't stop there. That's just the straight join that's been happening in Alteryx. Now, I have here a union tool. So basically, what I did here was I wanted to mirror the results you would get if you did a left join. So remember, when you're doing a left join in SQL, you're joining table A to table B on the criteria where A dimension equals B dimension, and let's say A dimension 2 equals B dimension 2. If that would occur, you're going to bring in everything that joined, but also still keep the entirety of the table A, your left table. So in order to kind of mirror that same action, I did a union that basically unions the results from the J node and the results from the L node. So when we look at the results from the actual union, let's see. Notice how that we still have all the 112, 184 records. And pretty much since every one of these records on the L table did join, if you did a left join on L and J here, a union, you're going to have the same number of records because remember the L node here has 0 records. Now, if we did an inner join, and basically back to the logic, to the syntax, if the inner join, you're only going to bring back records that joined on that specific on criteria, then in that case, you would bring in only the results that come out of that J node. Now, a right join. A right join, let's say for instance that you only want to keep the results on the right table that you've identified, then you're going to keep everything on the right side of the join, but also those that joined. So for instance here, notice how you have additional records, 112,391, because that means you're keeping those that joined, but also you wanted to keep the R records. So if I go here, how many records from the people CSV went into this join tool? You had 20,000, right? But remember, you're keeping all those that joined, so your output went up by all those that joined, and you're also going to add those 207 records. So if you add the 207 to the joined records of 184, you're going to get that 112,391. So you're keeping everything that joined, but also all the records that were left over on the right table. And just for reference, I'll add this image on the screen. You got your left join, you got your right join, You got your inner join, and then of course, you have your outer join. So let's say, for instance, you wanted to keep, um, an outer join of this join, and those that join here, you wanted to scrap. You no longer needed those records. So then, in that case, I would keep everything that's left that didn't join, everything that's right that didn't join, and if I did a union on that, I'd be left with your 207 records because there's nothing on the L node that didn't join. It's a little confusing at first, but I would suggest maybe work with a small Excel file you've created. Maybe do like a number, like 10 rows, 1 to 10, and maybe some random names, and then do those same names on another data set with some additional fields that you want to join based on the name, and then maybe have some records on the names that aren't on the original numbered 1 through 10 test file, and then see how those joins work as well. Real quick, let's go now to up here. I did a quick append, and I'm using a text input here. So the text input, I'm going to append a field called append field, and the value is batting. So notice how when I bring in my target table, which is basically the batting CSV, and then I append that field, all it does is append those records at the very end. Append field batting. And no change to the records, just still 112, 184. But all I did was just add a column at the end. All right, real quick, find the replace tool. If I go to the configuration pane, the F input is your find, the R is your replace. I'm going to find within the field the append field, and I'm going to find the value find. So basically, what this is saying is, using the text input, I'm finding batting, and I'm going to change it for this. So I'm basically finding the dimension named find. So within the append field, and I'm going to replace found text with the value in change. So basically all I'm doing is finding this dimension, the append field, and then for any value in that append field, if it matches to anything here, which it will because it's batting, I'm going to change it to this batting FNR output. Basically, your batting find and replace output. Obviously, if some of the values in the original target field in the original data set here, if some were, instead of batting, said fielding or home run, those wouldn't be changed. Only the ones where there's a match to the field called batting. So then when I do that, notice how I now have, instead of batting, the output batting FNR output. Real quick way, if you have a value that you want to find and replace, a string, a number, so really good kind of tool to use just for some cleanup. Okay. Well, real quick, those were some quick tips on how to use the joins, how to use the unions, how to use appends, find and replace. Do your own workflow if you want. Do some test scenarios on your end. Alteryx is pretty fast with the engine on how to do the joins. Again, I'm working with a data set that had 100,000 records, so seconds to kind of churn all that out. Of course, if you're doing some test files on your end that have 10 records, 20 records, no need to worry about how fast it is. But really spend some time with these tools because once you get the hang of it, you're gonna use those tools a lot when you're building your workflows. I hope you enjoyed this tip, and let me know what y'all think, and share with me what you found out with this. Okay. All right. Thanks very much. Bye bye.